How many stories have you heard? The brilliant guy been left behind because the guy who talks more was noticed by the boss.
A lot. Almost every day.
So what? If you know that story is going on, then why you don't learn how to talk?
For 14 years, JJ's voice woke up Malaysians as part of the iconic Hits.fm morning crew.
Hits.fm playing all the hits. What's up? It is JJ and Ian, the Hits.fm morning crew.
Speaking to over 2 million listeners every week. Now, with more than 2 decades in broadcasting, JJ is now head of audio at a media tech company and has trained thousands of people to harness the power of their voice.
So when it comes to introverts, the struggle is always in your own head. The line is, what if they don't like me? What if this, what if blah, 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 introverts? Okay, cool. The line I always tell them is,
What else would you tell your students about?
oh, here's another advice.
In this episode, we go over the moments that you didn't hear on air, the art of building connection through sound, and the communication tactics that help JJ win the hearts of millions.
If you got a sad story, you be sad. You emote the sadness and be genuine with how sad you are. A lot of people don't know how to do that.
Whether you are trying to pitch an idea, land a job, or just be heard, this episode might just change the way you speak.
You have to know the audience you're talking to. What do they need? What will trigger them to be interested in the conversation?
What's their trigger?
What's their trigger? So you have to add those things into the conversation.
In your opinion, what does the 1% know about making people listen to them that the other 99% doesn't know? JJ, how do you landed as a DJ in Hits.fm as an engineering graduate?
Luck and also, mostly luck and circumstances. If you go through YouTube, you will actually see a TED Talk that I did. And I call the TED Talk Failing to Succeed. Because a lot of my success came from a failure. Because of that failure, led me somewhere else and they're like, hey, I never thought of it. But as a radio announcer, how I got into radio announcing is, so I was studying electrical engineering and unfortunately, I used to play hockey for state. So when I went to university, I didn't want to play hockey already. So the seniors like, come play. I'm like, no, it's all right, I don't want to play. And they're like, hey, but you play, you get free credit. I'm like, oh, free credit? Okay. Like a stupid fool, first year, don't know anything. Go ahead and play it for the university. Didn't get my credit, assumed that I had that credit. Then when you want to graduate, last time you have to fill up forms, a big form. And I remember being called into the dean's office and said, this is not credit. I'm like, what do you mean? The seniors told me, you got letter, anything or not? No. Why do you go believe them? So I had to extend one semester to do co-curriculum. And because of that, I joined the cruises, the Hits cruises, and the rest is history.
Wait, what do you mean? Like you joined the Hits cruises? Like was it like just a one phone call? Hey, you want to try out DJing?
I knew someone was there. The Hits cruises are the people who drive the commercial vehicles around. You know, around, hi, what's up? This is JJ here. We're right in front of wherever we are right now. You come the next 30 minutes, you get a Coca-Cola, blah, 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 blah. That one, I started there.
So you saw a banner and applied for it or something?
No, I knew someone who was inside, who was a thing and said, come on, just audition. I'm like, okay. So I went, I remember my audition was fun. So I walked like shirt, normal pants, the flair. His name was Uma. Uma is like, talk to me. Threw me a t-shirt. Go out with them today, just see how it is. Went out one day, came back and it's like, okay, you got the job. I'm like, all right, cool.
And how long was it like before you got the transition towards a DJ?
That's another thing. So a transition as a DJ, I never thought I wanted to be a DJ. I didn't even think of being a DJ. Cruises was good because they were paying $10 an hour.
Back then,
$10, dude, a lot of money, and it was fun work. And so I joined that. Never thought of continuing in radio, but the idea was once I graduate, then I just continue with becoming an engineer. But when I was there, my time's morning crew was this people called Fly Guy and Lil Kev.
Yeah.
So Fly Guy and Lil Kev were legendary. For me, I think Fly Guy is still the best radio announcer in the world. But I remember Fly came to me and he pulled me aside and said, dude, you have to be on radio. I'm like, I'm on cruises. Like, no. Go get a slot. I'm like, no, I'm just an engineer. It's like, shut up and go get a slot. Try. So I went and spoke to the boss. It's like, can I have a slot? He says, you can have a weekend slot. I give you 3 hours. But I want you to design your own show and I'm not going to pay you anything. So I'm like, okay. So I designed three different shows. I needed to have one show that is a normal kind of show so that I get used to it. So I did that show. The second show was this thing called the All Asia show. So back then, before everybody now Korea, nobody listened to it. So I used to play J-pop. I used to play Chinese song.
J-pop?
Yeah.
Oh.
J-pop, J-hip hop, so all kinds of different songs. Just Asian. As long as the Asian, I'll play it. And the funny part is when the ABCs came down, they used to come on my shows and interview. I interviewed Lee Hom Wang and
my idol.
so Lee Hom was in the studio with me, just talking in English.
How was he in real life?
Cool.
Very cool.
Because we just had a normal conversation. And so that's one, All Asia show. That was 1 hour. Second one is the normal hour. And then third one, I did this thing called the Hit Center Stage. Now, the Hit Center Stage is, you think about it, this is 1999. Before concerts was like a dime a dozen, everybody like, oh, concert. Back then, no one in Malaysia had concerts.
Yeah.
So I approached the record labels and asked, they got recording of live concerts. They like, got. So I played live versions of the music we play on Hits. And when I did it, it's like, here's what I'm playing you today's hit music. What's up? It's JJ. Here's the Hit Center Stage. And hey, stop pushing lah. We're right now in the concert. And so I acted like we are in a crowd, like a concert. And like, oh my God, on stage, it's Jay-Z. And I play the music and then it sounds like a concert. So I want people to imagine. So that's what we did. So those are the 3 hours. I did that for 1 year for free.
People loved it.
I guess so, because then after that I was offered a job.
I mean, don't you have like numbers to see like back the metrics? No.
Back then, no. They used to have surveys. Even now, even the surveys, I don't trust the surveys, but yeah, the surveys, they do have surveys. The matrix is not as like social media where you actually can see the numbers. It's not. It's all assumption, books, and archaic way of doing surveys. But yeah, it's a lot of assumptions.
But that's weekend show. So when did you so-called graduated into the
full-time,
the real deal?
So the real
show?
deal weekday show was in the year 2000. But my first shift was the midnight shift, the graveyard shift, which is 2
Still
to
not
6.
The peak.
2 to 6 in the morning. So is the
Who's listening at?
See, that's the line. So everybody who's supposed to start on radio are given the graveyard shift, and the graveyard shift, everybody hated it because they're like, oh no, I'm not good enough, blah blah blah. I took it as a challenge because for me, I'm the type like, okay, there's so many things you're supposed to think about when you want to do on radio. So, and I train people on communicating as well. So one of the things that I tell people is, do not assume there's no listeners, and do not assume that there's certain type of listeners. So each type of listener, like you are a different person in the morning listening to radio, and you in the afternoon, different person, driving back, different person, even though you're the same person. So that's 3 different people. You have to understand the person you're talking to, and then you're going to design your show. You cannot just design the show and hope people like it. Oh, it's a good show, but you're not talking to the right people. If you're hyper energetic, when someone wants to go to sleep, they'll be like, ugh. So you have to understand. So what I did was my 2 to 6 was my every time I start, I said the sun is set here in Malaysia, but it's up somewhere else, because that time Hits was on online, www. I think through the website you can listen.
Also, it's broadcasting worldwide as well.
Worldwide, I mean on the internet lah.
On the internet one.
So I used to get calls from the UK. People calling in like, I want to wish my mom. I like, your mom is sleeping, but okay, no problem. But these people call overseas. So I did that for 6 months, and then only I moved on to the afternoon shifts.
Was it very stressful? Because
I loved it.
The morning crew is like the
morning crew.
Right?
The morning crew is the highest. Okay, why is morning shows the most coveted and the most important? Because it's creating user habits. There's a science behind it. If that station is the first station you listen to in the morning and first thing that comes to your mind, that's going to be the station you listen to in the afternoon, the day.
Wow.
So that's why your morning show has to be the most powerful show. And that's why they do it. And that's why morning shows are important to create the trend throughout the rest of the day. So yeah.
You guys are the trendsetters, basically.
More or less. I mean, the mood setters. So the weight of the station is on your shoulders.
Mm.
Very much on your shoulders. So the idea is that the shift I did, the 2 to 6, I decided because this is my first time on air. And back then was analog, it was not digital. Now everybody is pre-recording their shows and putting up.
Yep.
Trust me on this. No one goes live. I know this for a
Oh.
fact. They don't go live.
No more?
They don't. They're in the studio. They pre-record everything. They edit it nicely and then put it in between songs and make it perfect.
The engineer, the sound, and the story and the message.
Everything is in the studio. They do it. Even though they're in the studio during
Yeah.
that time, it's not live. As in, I say something wrong, it'll come out there. So, how live works is it goes through a system that captures the sound, and then 8 seconds later it broadcasts out. So you have an 8-second window. It's called the parachute.
Yep.
So there's a button called the dump button. So what would happen is every time you go quiet, the system will just steal a bit of thing to build up that 8 seconds. Once you build up the 8 seconds, you've got 8 seconds gap of save. Once you click dump, it has to build up 8 seconds again.
Wow.
So slowly. So you cannot mess up. So the thing is, during that 2 to 6, I practice messing up. I deliberately mess up. So there's 2 buttons right next to you. One that's going out on air, one is live in the studio. So I deliberately say a bad word, like bad word, and then just instantly switch to what's going on live on air. Put my hand on the dump button. When it comes close to there, dump and then continue talking. So no one realized that it's a mistake. So
Wow.
I practiced doing that to a point where I didn't have fear of saying bad words.
That's live editing.
So I didn't have fear of saying the wrong things. So that was my 2 to 6, and then I did every shift more or less.
I mean, what does it
radio.
feel like? What's live like? As a DJ, like I'm just trying to picture. Is it really as simple as what people say? Just walk into the studio. Hey, good morning. Let's go. Let's roll. 2.5 million people gonna listen to me.
No.
No?
It's not easy. So you have to plan it. So you have to see the thing that made us good was we allowed everyone else to shine. It wasn't us. Our show wasn't focused on us. Our show was us asking everybody to contribute their thoughts and their ideas. And we have segments and it's designed very sciencey, okay? You've asked whether there's surveys. There are surveys, but surveys are done in a way where they can give you there's 2 things that, very important to radio. Nowadays, I don't know whether the bosses also even know this. But anyway, it's 2 things. TSL, which is time spent listening, or how much listeners you have. All right?
View and also retention,
So,
basically.
Retention or view.
Yep.
So which one are you going for? So
Mm.
for the time spent listening is mostly for the younger crowd. The younger crowd don't want to be retained.
Yep.
They just want to be entertained for the small period and then gone. The other one is retention, it's longer time. So the idea is for every 15 minutes, we have to have a hit. That means something to, interesting. And then every 15 minutes, because we saw the graph was every 15 minutes drop off.
Mm.
So when we noticed the 15-minute drop off, we made sure that every 15 minutes, there's something that tags you along for another 10 minutes. So like if you notice, the gotcha calls were designed at 45 or 40, which makes you, like when you leave 30, like a bit more. Okay, I say a bit more.
Yeah.
So it was designed that way. We did it it's very science. So, but the design for that took us like 6 months to design it. But if you think of it, until today, all radio stations follow the same design. Before this, all morning shows, it's 30 minutes, then 15 minutes, 30 minutes and ad, then 15 minutes, then ad,
Yeah.
then a big chunk of ad is at the end, top of the hour, or the end of the hour. We broke it up to 15, 15, 15. So the ads now is at 15, 30, 45 and top. And we design it so the ads now is broken up more so that it doesn't feel like it's very ad-based.
This brings back memories because I still remember 9-10 years old sitting in my dad's car, like I gotta finish this prank call before I go. My dad is dropping me off
It
to
was
school.
designed that way.
I had to wait.
It's to make y'all see. It's I know it's evil, but it's all designed that way.
So do you think that's the reason why Hits.fm is so popular back then?
Yeah, we took a lot of time to design the show. So whatever, if you think our work base was 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., right?
Mm.
So if you think it's 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., it wasn't just that. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is when we are live on air.
Yep.
After that, we take a 30-minute break just to refresh our mind. Then it's an hour of discussion and planning for the next day, what topic, blah, 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 what angles, what do you want to do? Then it's the gotcha calls that we have to do. Then after that, it's going to be the design of the show. So sound bites, whatever, any extra things you want to throw in a parody, whatever lah, you have to design. We literally finish work sometimes 1 o'clock, 12
PM.
p.m.
Okay.
So 1:12 or even 2 p.m. That is actually about a 7-hour work. Same like everyone else. The only difference is we don't have lunch. We only have a 30-minute break. So a lot of people think it's easy, just go in. I know half the people nowadays, the DJs do that, but it's not my way lah.
Because a lot of them are like part-time, not only say part-time, but part influencer, part celebrity. They have their own work to do.
When we were on radio, we had our websites. We had, maybe we had YouTube just starting off. We never said, hey, go check out our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel always pushes people towards our radio because radio is our core business.
Yep.
But now, if you listen to everything, hey, join our social media, their social media looks more important than their thing. In each DJ's KPI, they have social media engagement as well. In other words, they have to hit a certain number, bring up a certain number. In my mind is, but they're radio DJs. So, whatever, it's not my call. I don't have to do
can really
it.
guess it's commercialized, it's easier for, community engagement on like visual and audio is better, right? No?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think audio is like reading a book. Because I can paint a picture for you. But what you imagine is very different from the next person sitting next to you. So I give you this. You can't visualize this because now if I say pranks, you think people put that cling wrap, people walk into the cling wrap. That is pranks for you.
Yeah.
When we did our gotcha calls, our pranks weren't just targeted to the person who were pranking. And we didn't want them to get angry. Please understand this. When we did our prank calls, a lot of people said, wow, no one get angry with you. We had a simple rule to it. The rule when we did our prank calls were, we are going to give you bad news and then take it away. Not give you good news and take it away. Now, I know you're thinking, what the hell is this man talking about? Very simple. You tell me you wanted to fix your phone. I do extra things and charge you extra. Unfair.
Yeah.
You like, hey, dude, I didn't ask. I'm not going to pay for this.
Yeah.
Then I say, gotcha. So bad news, take it away. But if I say, hey, you want to win $1 million, make a monkey sound. So you do all this thinking you're going to win $1 million to solve all your problems. And I say, gotcha. That I just made a fool of you and I pull it away. So that's the difference. So when we used to design our gotcha calls, we didn't just design it for the person that we're going to do. We also design it for the person listening. If I get this call, what do I do? Now you imagine the situation.
What would I feel?
How I feel. How would I react? Now you are imagining that even though you're listening to someone else, you are like, oh, I can relate to this. I can understand it. So how you design your pranks have to be done that way so that everybody involved is not just you and that person. It's everyone's involved. Nowadays, people don't take the time to do that.
But can I argue that with that powerful audio plus my powerful visual, I got a more wholesome package?
I can say audio, you see, the power of audio is audio can be played while you're doing work.
True.
Visual can't. You need, and visual, you for sure go, hey, check this out. But for audio is, hey, guess what? I got this that is the shape of that to show you what this is. I cannot just this and then continue. There are pros and cons to everything. But for me, I think audio is very powerful because it helps you imagine. I give you this. Like when I created the app, I created an app called Radio. So anyway, when I did that, the idea is if you're a fitness instructor, all right, you want to work out your biceps, I can explain to you till you can visualize it. Oh, so good. I really want this guy to train me. I'm going to go to see him. If I do it on a TikTok, I don't need you anymore. Thank you very much for giving me a free lesson. For what I want to go to you? You already showed me everything.
Mm.
Thank you.
That also means like the threshold to enter is so much higher because you have to have that capability to describe something, to visualize something.
Okay, so that comes with practice. It doesn't come overnight. So when it comes to practice, look, when I was on radio, every day after my show, I listen to my show as in a listener. I don't listen to it knowing the facts. I listen to it as in I don't know the facts to see whether I delivered what I needed to. Because sometimes when you're talking to two people, and especially two people who know each other, there's going to be things unsaid. Like, that moments, people outside will be like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But we don't realize it. So I have to consciously listen and then learn, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. And then you improve and then you get better.
What are the top 3 things you realize other than that, like it's gesture and it's not audible? What else do you realize, like from reviewing your own?
So when you, so everybody wants to have the punchline. But sometimes someone else already gave the punchline. Just get out. You don't have to continue. Like, no offense to BFM, but I love BFM. But the problem that I find with BFM, I've told Malik before. Malik is the owner of BFM. I told him before. I said, look, just because you can talk for 30 minutes doesn't mean you have to talk for 30 minutes. If you've got your point within 15, get out, play a song, then start another point. You don't have to, just because you got 30 minutes, go on for 30 minutes. Yes, I can talk for 30 minutes, but for what? You already hit your point. Don't beat a dead horse.
Do you think that's a corporate
It's not a corporate
influence?
thing.
No?
It's not a corporate. People love the sound of their own voice.
Don't you?
That's a tricky one. I don't. I like talking.
I mean, I guess 2.5 million Malaysians would.
I love having a conversation. I love connections. So, like, even this, we're talking. I'm feeding off your nodding, your facial expressions, whatever you're doing. I'm feeding off.
Bouncing off.
It's bouncing off. So I'm like, okay, it's working with you. If it doesn't work, I would have stopped certain parts. I'm like, okay, it's not interesting. No problem.
So you have any tips, like how would you change based on people's facial expression, or how would you judge? Because this is live, it's momentary one.
It's true experience, but you yourself know. I mean, like, I cannot tell you that if you're one of those who cannot read social cues, I cannot teach you. But all of us have social cues because we all have mothers. Our moms just have to look us one kind. We know what the hell is going to happen. All right, it's either we're going to get beaten or hugged. Our mom just have to one look, or fathers also one look. So if you say you don't understand that, it's the same thing. So when people react, you can look at things like, the eyebrows, just even the
body language.
Yeah, body language. So even this, I'm bored. This is bored. This I'm preparing myself to. I'm embracing myself because I'm not quite sure about this conversation. All right. This is like, oh my God, so good. Oh, sorry, I went ahead of the mic, but oh my God, so good. Kind of thing. So yeah. Here's another advice. If you're doing anything alone, speak to one person.
One person. Like, imagine your target audience.
So speak to one person. Don't go, hey guys. Because when you do hey guys, you're talking from a stage.
Yep.
But if you're thinking of one person, hey bro, I got something very interesting. Your tone changes. Your tone straight becomes very personal. So if you listen back to how we spoke on radio, me and whoever I train, we always I'm speaking to one person. And when you speak to one person, you don't over exaggerate. So when I used to train my announcers, I remember I used to do this to them often. I tell them, go ahead, create a talk set that you want to do. They take a few minutes, type it out. I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is going to be interesting. So type it out. Okay, ready, go. Then they do the full thing. And then, the whole extra, I'm like, okay, cool. Now call your best friend. They're like, for what? Call your best friend. Say the same thing to them. They're like, just do the same thing to your best friend. Call, hey, within 10 seconds, hey, Day, what? No, Justin Bieber got a new song. Then just tell me Justin Bieber got a new song. Why you doing all this drama? Then they put down the phone. That's it. That's what you have to do. don't waste your time with all that thing. You're talking to one
Yeah.
person, your best friend. Why do you have to do all this drama to pull people in? That's why nowadays when I hear the drama, I'm like, cringe. But anyway.
This was, I mean, I can verify this one because like when I was like trying to build my YouTube and camera speaking skill, right? They said, I learned this from a newscaster, right? They say stick a picture of someone that on top of the camera and just speak to the person in
Correct.
the picture.
Correct.
And that's basically just what you just described.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
So that's what I used to do as well. I used to stick a picture there and just talk to them.
Basically, your ideal persona audience / audience.
It's not ideal persona. It's not your ideal persona. It's a person. It's a human. So don't put an intimidating human which makes you go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone that you want to have a conversation with. That's about it. So it has to be someone you want to have a conversation with.
So with 2.5 million views per week back then, right? That's so much numbers. I mean, like, if I can get a sense, how would that translate to monetary wise?
Monetary wise, okay. So when it came to announcers, radio announcers and stuff like that, it was mostly based on the contract that you have with the company, and also whether you're smart enough to deal with it. When I was at the height of my morning crew, the people at Fly FM were earning more.
And a benchmark would be?
How
much would more be like?
More. They were earning close to 8,000 more than me.
But that's very relative, right?
No, but you have to think about it. It's nothing to do with anything except for if you're not wise enough to how you negotiate your contract, you're going to get screwed. But as soon as I started fighting for my rights, I got kicked out. So
just like celebrities, like basically.
Kind of. So let's say my starting pay was 2005. But when I went on radio, the highest paid is normally the Malay stations.
Okay.
So the Malay station that time, I think the highest paid was 55 a month.
55 a month. I read online it was like 100 a month, Era FM, but I don't know whether that's true or not.
Could be possible because I know during my time, if I'm not mistaken, Aznel got a year's contract of $1 million.
Okay. And that includes the ambassadorship, advertisements and everything? No.
Just for radio.
Just talking.
Just for radio.
Oh, wow.
Just for radio. It's nothing like that. So that's the irritating part is because I didn't know business back then. I just enjoyed my work. I wanted to be a good radio DJ, but I should have had a better understanding there because when you're there, you always assume your bosses have your best interest.
Have your best interest.
No, they don't. They have their best interest because if they can keep the price down and bring in more money, they look good. So
it's kind of similar to Taylor Swift, right?
That's everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's that's how it is. Unless you don't have a business sense, you have to learn the business sense. When I started having my business sense, then only I earned a good sum. Let's just say it was a good sum of money where it looked like a small business monthly income.
Wow.
So
that's still 5 digits.
Of course, 5 digits.
Of course. Not 6.
No way. No, not 5.
But
not 6
salary
digits.
aside, what other streams of income?
There's so many. Okay, for VOs.
Average.
So for a VO.
VO?
Ads?
Voiceover
for ads.
Yeah.
So you see the advertisements on radio is normally 30 seconds.
Yes.
Now, even though you say, inside there, you get paid for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a 30 seconds ad.
Yeah.
All right? And you get paid by seconds.
Okay.
So the entry point is 15 ringgit a second.
15 ringgit a second.
Yeah. So
Okay.
30 seconds is 450 ringgit. I was high-end lah. I could ask, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at one point I was doing 60 ringgit a second.
Okay. And usually at 30 seconds, you did 30 seconds. It's like one ad, 3,000-4,000
Yeah, but
ringgit.
how many lines you do? Hello, how are you? Really? No lah. Oh, buy this product. Done. 3,000 bucks. Hey.
That's the only alternative income?
No, emceeing.
Which is
MCing.
outside of DJing.
Outside DJing.
So it's totally side hustle.
That one's side hustle. When you do the emceeing, when there are a few good MCs nowadays, all right. But at the height of what I can do, there was a point where I didn't want to do it. Also, I was tired, so I just simply throw huge stupid numbers.
Yeah.
So people like for a 4-hour gig, I'll say 15,000, and they'll pay.
Still pay, right?
Then I'm like, should I ask 20? I didn't want to do it. I was tired. But they paid 15 and pay lah. Take. So you can make a lot of money.
So it really,
MCing.
I mean, nowadays they do like democratize already. Like, so it's not so much controlled by the company anymore. Can I say so?
The outside work is not controlled by the company. Only at the company itself. But then you're required to do a few things for the company lah, of course. But then but
People are smarter now. Huh?
people are much smarter now. It's a business, and that's why I'll give you what I'm. So like radio itself. Okay. When I left Hits, I moved to Red.
Yep.
I was in managerial position. I wanted to do something that was very different, and the people there didn't want to do it. So I'm going to do it with where I'm taking radio in the future, which is I'm not going to give the DJs a pay, but I'll give you 30% of whatever your slot makes.
It's like YouTube creators program. It's
So if your
commission-based.
slot makes $1 million a year, it's up to you lah. So would you be interested in making a better show? Would you, if you do an MC, ask the people to throw advertisements on your show? Of course you want, because it's your business.
Yeah.
So yeah lah.
But then if there's no upfront incentive, people usually would think twice, right? If it's just commission based.
That's the thing. If you're thinking of it that way, then you're not doing it because of passion.
Yeah.
So you're just it's a job anyway.
Yeah.
So half the people on who come on radio is they want it's already a machine that's running.
Yeah.
And it's the money is already coming in. Why do you want people to be more passionate and feel like they
True.
got part of
What's missing is the human part. The character, the personality that is unmatchable. You can't buy that.
You can't. No, but radio these days is very different. Like it's a very different ball game.
Where do you see it being headed? Like,
Radio as you know it will die.
But
That's why
you
I
think it
created.
will die?
Yeah, that's why I created what I created. Because radio, the format will die, but radio won't. People say TV is dead. TV is not dead.
Yep.
TV shows and stuff lives on Netflix. It's a different place to consume it.
True. It's just move to another format.
And it's a format where you take control.
It's
not, I only want to watch this cartoon, must watch at this time or this time.
So it's up to the companies to move from legacy media to the new digital media.
But there's not many people who are innovative. Majority are followers, so they follow. The idea that I created, the app that I created that in 2018 with a shoestring budget with no technology. I created that idea from all my knowledge. And of course, I didn't have money for marketing for it. But now, touch wood, when this comes out, hopefully in 3 months' time, you'll go, okay, now I know what JJ is talking about. You'll see it again because I let it simmer out. I'm building it up again. And then you see it where radio will be totally your pick. You really can design the radio. You can pick, I like JJ, I like just hip hop music, and I can pick this guy. And the show starts when you get in the car. Start JJ.
But why can't someone just go for that but on social media instead? Why rely on a radio app?
Why? Because you can't social media. You can't play music. Show me where. If you say Spotify doesn't allow you to do it. Spotify don't allow you to do it.
It's all the copywriting.
Because what I want to do doesn't exist. It will exist like in 3 months' time. But
you are the Peter Thiel now, creating the next YouTube.
I have to. It's basically that. What you just said is that it's YouTube for radio. It's audio creation, and it's going to be interesting because radio is not dead. Because radio allows you to consume information and then have music in the background after it to give your mind a break from the information, and then a bit more information, and then music in the background, and then a bit more. You like, I can do work and listen to this guy. He's my friend on the side, entertaining me. That's what I'm doing.
Amazing. And it's something I would say that because if it's video, you have to watch it.
Correct.
You can't do it while you're working,
Correct.
while you're driving.
Radio will not die. Radio will not die. I mean, just audio will not die. I know that for a fact.
Radio will not die, but the traditional radio will die.
100%.
Wow.
If you can Google this, I'll tell you where I got my idea from. Google this movie called Fifth Element. Chris Tucker or Chris Rock, I forgot which one. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker was an actor. He had a character in there. His character was a radio DJ who broadcast to the universe using a stick. Hello,
Hmm.
wherever he goes, he walks a stick. So I saw my phone. I'm like, this is my stick.
Hmm. Are you extroverted
Yes.
before and after radio? But then do you feel like this is only advantageous for like, I mean, to be good at speaking naturally?
Fly Guy was an introvert.
Oh.
Fly Guy is not an extrovert. Fly Guy doesn't talk to people much. But on air, he's brilliant.
It's very different on air versus like
Yeah.
real life character.
But if you know him well enough, you'll get that Fly Guy. But if you don't know Fly Guy well enough, he doesn't open up to you. He's not going to be the first person. Hello, how are you? I'm that person.
Still the same now?
Yeah. Fly has always been that.
Do you have something similar? Like, do you change your on-air personality?
That's the
Or
good
that's
thing.
you?
The best compliment I always get is, hey, you sound the same like you're on the radio. I'm like, okay, cool. Because that's what I was going for. I'm not trying to put on. Half the people you meet on radio is a character that they given. Radio stations are going to hate me. Most of the people that you have in groups now are forced to have a character. You are bad guy. You are this one. You are this one. When I was on radio, they wanted to do the same to me and Rudy or whoever. I like, no. They're like, no, conflict is very good. I'm like, I'm sure there's a listener who disagrees. Let them be our conflict against us. If both of us agree on the same topic, it's stupid for us to just simply argue. Everybody wanted us to just simply argue. We're like, no, that's not us. Thank God we didn't listen to them.
Is it because like there's more strategies, more attention hacks, and more like, I guess, how do I put it in words? More competition. That's why people had to have all these strategies.
No, it's for me. It's like people believe that you need drama. Okay, sometimes you don't. You just need to be genuine. You got to build that connection. People have to understand who you are. I know a lot of people who remember me on radios feel like I'm their friend. And I've met people who just, like, I just met the first time. And then a friend of mine a long time there, he's, how long you know the guy? Like, I just met him. That's like, why are you talking like that? You sound like you know the guy like 20 years. I'm like, I've always talked like this. So drama is not the importance, the connection. A lot of people forget that connection. How do you make connection is by being genuine.
Yep.
That's the only way you can connect with people. Like, if you've got a sad story, you be sad. You emote the sadness and be genuine with how sad you are. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Now, everybody has the same tone.
Why do you think so that we have come to
Why?
this?
Because that fella did it and he worked, so everybody copy. That fella did it, okay, copy.
The
So-
perfect persona,
The perfect.
Perfect. the quote unquote.
Yeah, because it's perfect. It worked for that person. Then when I left radio, how many people they hired to have the ha 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 laugh?
Yeah.
You know, because I laugh like that. That's how I laugh. But they hired people to laugh. Do you understand? You know how weird it is to
They
do
do
that?
that?
They wanted people to have that loud ha 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 laugh. But it was me. I laugh at anything. Man. I'm an easy laughing person.
But that's for you. Like, I mean, you have trained a lot of people. What about, I'm sure you have trained introverts as well.
Yeah.
How do you deal with them? Like, what's
Same.
their struggles?
So the struggles are always in your own head.
Mm.
So when it comes to introverts, the struggle is always in your own head. The line is, what if they don't like me? What if they what if the blah 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 introverts? No need lah. Okay, cool. The line I always tell them is, before you started, you didn't have it.
True.
Before you introduce yourself to someone, he was not your friend.
Mm.
If the person say, sorry, I'm not interested, you don't lose anything. But if they say, hey, cool, let's hang out, you gain something.
Mm.
So instead of always thinking, oh shit, what if they say no? Don't think of that. If you're always thinking of the negative, you'll be very worried. And most of the time when it comes to, when I train people on speeches and presentation and stuff, everybody tends to like to write down a perfect line.
Mm.
I tell them, don't write down the perfect line. Know your perfect line. Know the subject matter you want to talk, but put it in point forms. So that it's easier. All you need to do is see the point form that will remind you of the whole thing that you
The
need.
keywords.
The keywords. So put it down in point form and just...
So it's mainly mindset shift.
Okay.
Don't think of the negatives, think of the positive.
Correct. It's
Mm.
so I've always been the person who believes like no matter what you do, you either win or learn. That's all you do, and you'll never lose if you have that mindset.
But what if an introvert is listening to this and they still think it's easier said than done, right? What else can I do?
Okay, turn on a mic, go on radio. Nobody knows your face. Nobody knows your name. Nobody knows you. Just talk.
Mm.
Put up an audio. Be anonymous. If you want to use TikTok or whatever you want, just be blank. Just talk. Don't put your name there. Slowly build confidence in talking.
Fake it till make it.
Not fake it. Build confidence in talking, because
Mm.
at the moment you're like, oh, they will know me. Okay, fine. Put everything blank. The only thing is your voice.
Mm.
Do lah. So what's the excuse after that? Oh, if they don't like it, they don't listen to you. They like it, they will listen to you.
But it's that fear of rejection.
I know.
Yeah.
So the rejection, like it goes back to my TED talk that I said, failing to succeed. All these rejections and things that I had in my life led me to something different, and led me to success. So the idea for even us riding bicycles, nobody does a wheelie and jump or bunny hop and all that straight away. Everybody falls. We are so afraid to fall these days that you don't even try. You hide behind the door and try to perfect it before you want to show anyone. And then the scary part after that is because in your mind, oh, I've perfected it. I go out there. Negative, straight away don't do. Because I thought that was perfect, but it's still not perfect enough. But if you come up there, no good. Okay, which part no good? That one. Okay, I improve. No, okay, improve. Improve bit by bit. It's small steps. It's not big steps. So for an introvert, this I give to your generation, the younger generation. Everything is on social media now.
True.
Mistakes are broadcast in social media. You have to have a bit of a thick skin to hide that. All right. My generation grew up in a way where I don't know my friend's success until I hang out with them at a mama. So all of us go, mama, hey, let's hang out today. Suddenly the fella come BMW. Okay, all cool. Oh, cool. Hey, nice car, bro. Like, but inside, like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? You have that every day.
True.
You open social media.
Now I need to know that he drives a BMW.
Now you got to know, oh, that foot is picking up. But you are so busy trying to measure yourself against someone else's yardstick instead of your own pace that you don't even try to move forward. You're so scared. You're like, oh, that fella's stick is very tall. You don't know how tall your stick is. Maybe your stick starts slow and then suddenly shoot up. You don't know.
True.
But everybody's so scared to even fail. I'm like, failure is the best thing. Especially when you're young, make the biggest mistakes in your life.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's easier to recover. When you're my age and you make a mistake, you've
done everything.
You've got too much commitment, too much things. Even businesses. Make all the mistakes when you're young. Start, if you want to be an entrepreneur, start now.
The cost per mistake is lower.
Correct. Because, look, your failure as a young person is very minimal, very minimal. A failure as an older person who has responsibilities and things that is attached to you, it's too much. And that's why it's hard to start something when you're older. Even though I'm a crazy person who start too many things and every other year I'm doing, what new things you're doing now? No, I had opportunities, so I...
There's more explanation. Like, then you have the in-laws, you have kids.
I'm just that person. I've always been that person. But yeah, make all the mistakes you can when you're young. Please. Just don't be afraid.
So the way I like to look at it is generally people are more short-sightedness. They look at the near terms, failures or success or not. And that's why they don't look at the long term. So one way I like to counter that or to help that, to solve that, is to provide the long-term benefits of something. Then you would think further, oh, maybe, I suck now, but if I tried then I get better over the long term.
Correct.
So maybe on that end, from the expert himself, what do you think are the benefits of being good at communicating?
What are the benefits of the? Okay, do
Other
you,
than the obvious, right?
how
People
many?
like you.
Not people like you. How many times have how many stories have you heard? The brilliant guy been left behind because the guy who talks more was noticed by the boss.
A lot. Almost every day.
So what? If you know that story is going on, then why you don't learn how to talk?
Mm.
Oh, my skills will show my thing. Really, my skills, my voice can take your job, okay? Because Steve Jobs is not the best brilliant guy in building computers and all. Steve Jobs wasn't that guy. He knew what he wanted. He had a vision. He pulled the right people, and he could communicate himself.
He's a storyteller.
He's a storyteller. He told stories and made you want to buy his products. Now everybody like, oh, you got Apple. Oh, it's not naughty. Ooh. But it's that. It's just storytelling. It's how you convince people. It's nothing to do with the product. It's the story that comes with it. Your passion, your ideas. If you go there and do a presentation that's boring, your boss won't pay attention.
True.
They'll be like, oh, cool, leave the document. But if you make an impact, you make a connection with them, they straight like, oh, okay. And the skills, like, you got to also know who you're talking to. Back to the part where I say, remember, you are different people when you talk to. So if you're doing a presentation or you're talking to people, you have to know the audience you're talking to. What do they need? What will trigger them to be interested in the conversation?
What's their trigger?
What's their trigger? So you have to add those things into the conversation. You cannot leave it out.
So it's all the background research, prep work, plus the live social
Correct.
cue expression.
Correct. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's not easy, but it can be done. It's a science to it. You just have to work at it.
I mean, just want to quote what Steve Jobs said. I mean, perfect that you brought him up. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller.
Yeah. Have you seen Steve Jobs? When I did my training with, I used to train people online. And when I train, I used to train people overseas. Because when I was at iSummit, when I do my online classes, locals don't want to learn from me.
Why?
Because they want to learn from orang putih. But the orang putih look at my credentials, want to learn from me because they see credentials. They don't see the skin color.
Mindset difference?
Very different. So I trained a lot of overseas people. That's like from the UK. So my classes were online, so I trained people. Anyway, back to what I said is, you have to understand your audience to really connect with them and understand, and then use all the different skills of how fast you talk, the tone you talk, the emotions that you put into all kinds of different things. And the thing that I trained them added was Steve Jobs' speech. Not graduation. There was a speech he gave at the graduation. Masterclass in presentation. You should watch how he designed the whole thing. From how he started, how he brought people in, make the connection, told his little bits of 3 different stories, gave a clear direction of what he's going to talk about. I'm just going to tell you 3 stories. If you look at the speech, I'm going to just tell you 3 stories. Then he gave the 3 stories. And then at the end, the conclusion, how all 3 stories made sense to the graduation thing. Brilliant. So you go watch it. It's I forgot where was the graduation. You can find it on YouTube.
So I read this thing like just now you mentioned about emotions, right? They said that the right brain is focused on emotions, storytelling, triggered by those, and then the left brain is more focused on statistics, facts, data, right? I mean, I guess the weightage wouldn't be 50-50, but how would you assign when it comes to storytelling and retaining people's attention? How would you assign the weightage between those?
Well,
Emotions versus facts.
so the crazy part about what you just said is, one of the things I train people is the 2 things that make people make a decision is either facts or emotions. That's basically it. So if you're a factual person, if I try to get in touch with you emotionally, you'll be like, don't waste my time. Give me facts straight to my face. So I have to deliver the facts to you. That's why the news are delivered facts.
True.
But if it's a story, you have to have emotions. So you have to do emotions. So the idea is the weightage is based on the audience. I won't say
The recipient.
who are you talking to?
Yeah.
If that person prefers it with facts, then give it facts based. If the person is more emotion, give him emotion. If the person is a 50-50, give both.
Like how would I know if let's say I go to a conference or networking event or class, I meet someone new, how would I judge in the first 30 or first 2 minutes? How do I judge?
How did you judge? How did I judge how I'm talking to you?
Based
Today.
on social cues?
What we were talking about just now, you spoke a few things. I saw what, I brought up a few past things and I saw which part made you light up.
Mm.
I do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't plan it.
Yeah,
But when you
experience.
ask people like, hi, what's your name? Yeah, hey, what do you do? Oh, cool. And then if they do that, it's like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard, but I heard something like this. Is it connected? See whether they, wow, this one wants to hear to me. Oh, just leave me alone. Oh, okay. Then you like, oh, all right, cool. So who you here with? If they're like, who you here with? Oh, I'm alone. Oh, all right. What made you come today? Then they're like, oh, actually, I heard this one. Oh, all right. Suddenly, you might find a common ground. I'm like, all right, that's where I'm doing it. And then, but you have to have knowledge also, lah. You cannot just talk.
So facts are important, lah.
Correct. No, you have to have the knowledge of things. I've got a lot of useless knowledge. Not useless, but knowledge.
Helps you bring out metaphors, right?
So I've got crazy knowledge in my head. I've done so many things in my radio career to a point where I remember once one of the things we did is I switched your job with you. So one of the hardest job was being the toll person.
Toll person?
Last time toll, you're the person who corrects the toll. And
Yeah.
Do you know they're not allowed to have a calculator in there?
I don't know.
Ah.
They have a counter, right?
Don't have. They got to do
Okay.
it mentally.
Oh, last time, lah.
Ha!
Oh.
And the card you give them, okay, so I did it with the Sungai Basito. So when the car comes, all right, you have to see what kind of material, it based on the tires.
Mm.
So a lorry, if 6 tires, a different card. This
different
one,
rates.
these people are top. My one was the line so long because I was like, oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, they do it so fast. They know how to count things. And it was so quick. I'm like, sorry, everybody, I'm causing a jam. But everybody has their own skill sets. Of course, you'll practice and then learn and improve and all that. So it's never easy. Everyone else's job is never
So it
easy.
takes time until it becomes muscle memory.
Correct. Everything is that. Even you doing this.
Mm.
You started this, no way you'll
Nothing.
be.
Yeah, nothing. It took me 5 years. And I don't think I'm even good yet.
You are never good. I'm never good as well. I've always looked for different ways to improve myself. And that's why if I listen to radio, I look for things that make me go, that's cool. I didn't think of that. I've done so many things on radio that is being repeated on radio nowadays that I'm like, I can even write down, even when they pull drama, they're like, oh, did you hear the drama? I'm like, okay, I can write down the processes of what's going to happen next. You tell me whether it's true. And then like, how you know? Because it's all drama that I've created a long time ago. That I've been through this before. So yeah.
So during your radio tenor, like, I'm sure there will be awkward silence, right? How do you keep the conversation going? Is it like through small talks? Like,
There's never awkward silence. I've never
Why though?
had. Because
like both of you are that good.
no, we're not that good. We see, Rudy and I was weird. So when Rudy and I first met was the boss. I was doing weekend slots as well.
Mm.
So one of the weekend slots I did was the morning slot. All right. So I remember the boss said, hey, there's someone going to come join you this weekend. Just train him. I'm like, okay. And then he sat down with me and then we chat. And within a few moments, the connection was Eddie Murphy's stand-up, which was Guni Gugu. Anyway, you've got to Google that or research that to find out what I'm talking about. Eddie Murphy.
Probably no one knows that.
Eddie Murphy, Guni Gugu. You will know. So anyway, it's one of his stand-up. And then we hit it off. And the weird part about Rudy and I is Rudy and I are very similar but different. Rudy grew up international school, traveling and stuff like that. I local, total local. So both of us, even though we have similar minds, but different experiences. So it's easy to have a conversation. And silence is not a bad thing, but on radio, it is like after 3 seconds of silence, alarms ring.
But outside I mean, like your internal alarm or like the
Internal.
real,
Not the real alarm. So after
the real alarm.
because 10 seconds of silence is like very bad for radio.
Oh,
It's like something wrong with the system. So the engineers will run it.
oh. I
I'm
didn't know. I
not
thought that
joking. So you cannot have too much of a silence.
I
But
thought it was
silence-
like mental alarm.
Oh, no. Not mental alarm. But how do you deal with that? So I don't know. Just keep the conversation going, I guess. Because the conversation will go as long as you're actually genuinely interested. Like, it goes back to what I said before this. If you're genuine, then you're not putting it on. You're not there just to have a conversation. I've interviewed so many international celebrities to a point where at the end we became friends. One of it was, I remember Chester. Chester after all the interviews,
Like the guy the singer.
yeah. So
Chester
from
Bennington.
Lincoln, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when I interviewed Chester, first time I met him was Singapore. So when I met Chester in Singapore, how press junkets happen is the world press, everybody will line up and you got your 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. So you slowly wait your turn, you go in. I'm the type who make friends with everybody, right? So I made friends with the bouncers. Just go, hey, what's up, man? How y'all? And then the bouncers are like, so anyway. So I remember I was waiting for my turn to go in, and just before I stepped in, Chester came out on the phone, cursing, swearing. I'm like, crap, I'm going to have a bad interview. So I asked the bouncer, what's going on? He's like, don't worry about it. It's like, what's going on, man? Like, okay, like this. Someone broke into his house in the US and his girlfriend is alone at home. So I'm like, and he's still doing interviews. So I went in there, set up my machine. I looked at Chester. I said, dude, thanks for doing this. Then he says, like, no, it's part of the job. I was like, no. I told the bouncer's name. He told me what's going on in the US. If I were you, I'd like, screw this. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Because I cannot think already. He said, nah, it's part of the job. I'm like, but no, still, thank you, man. Thank you for just doing this. And he just like, oh, cool. Then we just talked. We just had a normal conversation. Not like, oh, music all based on what. Yeah. No, I never have interviews. I have conversations with people. So after I was done, I chowed. Thanks, man. Thanks for the conversation. Cool. Then the rest of the people go in. So after that, he was supposed to rush off and take a photo shoot. It was in Singapore, photo shoot. And he was rushing with the bouncer. I saw the bouncer. I waved. I said, bye to the bouncer. He turned, he saw me. Hey, he came out and hung out for another 30 minutes. Just talking about tattoos. Because he had tattoos and he was very passionate about tattoos. So he showed each of his tattoos and what it meant. So we talked about life and dope guy. And then after that, I never saw him again. 1 year later, I see him in Malaysia. He came down to Malaysia for a concert and I had to do the interview again. I'm like, okay, never mind. I spoke to them, give someone else, never mind. I walked in. I remember waiting my turn. But I walked in. I remember Chester looking up. Singapore. I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. I forgot your name. I met in Singapore. I'm like, yeah, man. It's like JJ. You're like, oh, he got up and introduced me to all the band members. Like, Johan, this is JJ. This and that. So I'm sitting there and all them paying attention because Chester introduced, right? Or like, I'm like, oh shit. See, I said the word again. Sorry. But anyway, so yeah.
So it's all the small details that really changes the whole course of things.
Small things.
So the art of small talk is still super important.
Very important. But I was genuinely concerned because I didn't say that to kiss or angkat or no. I was genuinely concerned that if that happened to me, crap, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean?
So you, out of like maybe 10, 20 other people asking the same questions again and again, you are the one that stood out because you left a lasting impression.
Because I didn't just do that questions. I just asked normal things. I asked about life and...
It's a genuine care that people can resonate and connect.
So when you ask someone, what is your inspiration? Is such a common question. It's like, but if you go like, I can guess your inspiration could be this. No lah, my inspiration. Oh, really? How do you get there? I don't see it in you. Oh no, because I did. So I'm genuinely interested in how you that is your rather than what's your inspiration. This one. When do you start inspiring? Whenever. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
So you got to know how to do that. The little things that make a big difference.
So JJ, with all the expertise, in your opinion, what does the 1% know about making people listen to them that the other 99% doesn't know?
That nobody is listening to you.
Unpack that. What do you mean?
I don't care if people don't listen to me. If it's just one person listens to me, I'm okay. But if you're hoping that everybody listens to you, that's when you have a problem. Because then you go, I'm not hitting my numbers. But I'm talking because I want to talk. I have something important to say. I've got something I want to share. I really want to share this. Not I want to share this because I want numbers, blah, blah, blah.
So it's the expectations that changes your entire
Correct.
mindset and attitude when it comes to asking questions and talking to people.
It changes everything. As
Wow.
long as you sit down and you're genuine about why you're doing this. Even like you calling me here, you had an intention before. But now after this conversation, suddenly you're like, oh, inspired by something else.
And that's the beauty of I mean, I don't want to do interview for the sake of interview, right? And
Correct.
everyone can do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of this? What's the thing? So based on what we're discussing, I can see you're trying to focus on how do you get people to speak up and
Communicating.
communicate. And communication is the key to anything. You know, facts tell, stories sell. Have you heard of that line?
Yeah. Facts can only bring you so far.
Yeah. Facts tell, stories sell. So stories win.
Even the richest people are sold by stories.
Correct.
I want to move on to talking about attention.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
They say that nowadays attention is the new oil. Do you agree with that?
It's so hard to get attention nowadays because there's so much distraction.
And
There's
competition.
so many things going on. And that's where I say, that's why I'm building my app and I'm going to expand it. It's because people got so much things to do. I only got so much time to spare to give to full attention to.
Yep.
But if it's a audio-based thing, which is designed to be audio-based thing, not like a video-based thing that you just take the audio and put, because when you do a video-based thing and just put the audio in there are things, nuances and things that are lost.
Yep.
It's not just, conversation. So if it's just an audio-based thing, people can start doing work and still listen. Suddenly like, oh, that's an interesting fact. Rewind or whatever. You know what I mean? How to get attention, how to keep attention, that comes to connections. You will sit down at a mama store for hours with a friend because you have a connection with them.
Yeah.
But a stranger, you sit down, after 5 minutes, you don't like the vibe, you leave. But if you like the vibe, you'll sit down there the whole night because you're having a conversation. So the connection is the key to get the retention. If you don't know how to connect to your audience, that means you don't know who you're talking to. You're trying to talk to everybody.
Yeah. Target everyone, target no one.
So focus on who you want to talk to, find a connection with them, then only you can have retention.
How about in corporate workplaces?
Same
I mean,
thing.
9 to 6 employees. How do you get your employer's attention or make a connection with him or her?
Hey boss, how are you?
All the small talks.
How many people's bosses know who you are?
Hmm.
Do you know not? Okay, this unintentionally happened to me. So I was still a cruiser that day. That time I was so I remember walking towards the lift after cleaning the store. Back then we have to clean the store. And I remember going there and then see people waiting for the lift, and then suddenly this Indian man with white hair came and everybody left. So I'm like, like, so he goes in, then he turns to me, and I'm like, then he's like, come in. I'm like, oh, I thought I cannot because everyone ran away. He started laughing because he noticed it, but he didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
I saw everyone ran away, so I thought I cannot come in. Then he's like, no, just come in. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I came in, and then my line to him is like, hey, sorry, because I know he's a boss because I know he's big shot, but I didn't treat him. Oh, how are you, sir? How are you, beautiful? And I just like, I was literally in the lift. I just told him, sorry, I'm a bit stinky because I was cleaning the store. Then he's like, what store? Oh, then I explained my thing on the lift right up. He's like, okay, cool. See you around. Left when I asked my superiors, like, who's that guy with that? What do you say? He's the CEO. I'm like, oh, okay. But after that, he knew who I was. Instantly. He sees me, he's like, hello, JJ. I'm like, hey, what's up?
You did not overthink.
Because I saw people run away. I told him, he told me to come in. I said, I thought I cannot because everyone ran away.
Yeah.
I didn't. A lot of people will be like, oh, if I say that to the boss after that, he might be insulted. Oh, but You're overthinking things. Just say it. If the boss were insulted, it's like, yeah lah. What? How would the boss be insulted by me telling that? Simple experiment. Thought experiment here. How would have the boss been insulted if I say people ran away? The boss would be like, I know, either I notice this or I don't notice this. If he don't notice it, really, people ran away. There's not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Then they saw you, they went away. It always happens. If he notices it, I know, people are scared of me. Why, you scary person, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make him human. So that's what you have to do. Like, if you're interviewing a CEO, if you want to talk about his successes, cool. But if you can talk about how he's a human, it's very different. Because even the CEO was born by a mom, grew up like normal.
True.
So you want to know what makes him human, and that makes the difference.
I mean, I was in the similar situation you just described. Like, my ex-colleagues were like, see the boss or run away.
Yeah.
Right? Because the boss will ask about the project, will ask about how things are progressing, like,
Answer.
what's happening.
So the crazy part is, when their boss asks you, that means he knows you are part of that project. So now if you can go, boss, at the moment the project is up to here, but I cannot give you full details. If you want me to go full details, I can come present to you, when? Thursday? Good for you? No, I'm busy. Okay, tell me when, boss. I can give you update. Doesn't that like...
Yeah.
But everybody, run away. I scared he asked me something I don't know. If he asks you something you don't know, say, I don't know. Give me 3 days, I'll give you the answer. You know how much they'll respect you for that?
True.
Because if you're willing to go, I don't know, in 3 days, and suddenly 3 days, you really go do your research and then impress them, you think they'll forget you. They're like, wow, 3 days ago, the guy go know nothing. Now, wow.
It's a part of saying, I don't know, that people are afraid of.
Which is horrible.
In a way, looking stupid in front of someone.
It's not
they respect.
stupid. It's not stupid. That's the problem. Saying I don't know doesn't mean you're stupid. It means that you don't know the fact now. But if you're asked the same question 2 days later and you still I don't know, then you're stupid. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah. No,
the first time is
totally
not
makes
your fault because you don't know. But if you keep repeating the same problem, then it's your fault. Then you're stupid. What? That's the truth. If you repeat the same mistakes, that's the problem.
That can be the tagline already.
Correct. I mean, like, mistakes is not the problem. Repeating the mistakes is.
And is there any thumb rule when it comes to talking to people? Like, you got a conversation flowing, going already? Like, is there a thumb rule to like
when to
end retain and when to end? Yes, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
No, don't put a time limit to it.
Okay.
You know when a conversation is, and when it's already awkward, just like...
When it's really awkward.
No, it's like, why are you having that conversation first?
Like maybe I want to make a connection.
So you're making a connection.
Yeah.
Have you made the connection already?
Maybe.
What do you mean? Maybe you know whether you... Okay, so a connection. I'm going to a network event. All right? I see a lot of people. What's my objective at this network event? I want to make connections for my business or whatever. All right? So I go speak to someone, introduce myself, find out what they're doing. Ooh, can this have a connection with my business? Yes or no? So if no, go, oh, okay. Can this be my friend? Yes or no? Oh, no, then done lah. There's no need to extend the awkwardness of I need to talk to you. You can excuse yourself like, excuse me, I need to, I'm going around, but this is my card. Please call me again. If you've got any questions, this is what I do.
So you still have a set objective that...
You have to have a set objective or else what's the point of the conversation?
Yeah.
Even friends, when you hang out, hey bro, what do you want to do today? Today, let's just talk about football. Okay, football. But there's objective.
Yeah.
So why is it different with other things? It's the same. So set an objective. Know why you're there. Know why everyone else is there. So they are going around having the same objectives as you.
Yeah.
Trying to find someone to find a connection to help them build with their business.
Yeah.
That's why networkings happen. What networking events do.
So you usually can prepare and actually know their pain points and what they want actually.
Of course. Especially if you're going to an event knowing there are a few people you want to meet. Do your research. If it's like, say, a Liverpool fan or Manchester United fan, it's like, hey, you watch a game the other day. You Manchester United fan? No lah, I'm actually Liverpool, but I'm not here to insult you. But you made a connection already.
It's a prep work also.
You have to do prep work. And people like, I don't know how to do prep work. You know their name, you know their company, go to their LinkedIn, Go to their social media, see what the hell they post. You'll understand who they are. Understand the human being behind it. If you see all cranky posts, you know the fella is a cranky person. Don't go in there, hello, how are you? They'll be like,
What the heck?
exactly. If the cranky person like, what's up, man? You good? Ah? Okay. So, how's the event? Okay? Cool. What do you do? If it's the fun person, hey, man, how? Be genuine, lah.
Do you have like I would say top 3 favorite opening line, or like
Hi,
how
my
do
name
you
is
make
JJ.
a good first impression?
I
No?
don't.
You don't
I
care.
I don't try to make a
You
good
don't
picture.
try.
I just, hi, my name is JJ.
Ah.
What's your name? This one. Oh, cool. What do you do? Simple. Just start straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. It's
Be
like
simple, huh?
simple. No, because if you complicate stuff, that's
Yeah.
when you start freaking out.
True.
So you like, oh, I have to say this, then leads to this, and then if, then else, and then it's not a computer program, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's not binary.
Do you think an 1-minute elevator pitch is important
Yes.
to sell yourself?
Yes. If you can tell what you do, like how I explained about radio, I know I didn't do it on here, but I explained to you how radio is,
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
important is, you understand what it is.
Hmm.
I don't have to go into details what it is. If you're interested, suddenly you go, hey, tell me more. Then I can go in details.
So
But-
you still have to play off their cue and see what they're interested.
Correct.
Mm.
So if you give a overview of what you're doing, suddenly like maybe out of that they hey, you know that part, how do you do that? Suddenly like, okay, maybe you can work there. So that's a connection. Like how I used to design a radio show was very simple. So the radio show design is done in a way where first I have to know the topic, then I have to know the direction of where I want to go to, which is the output of the topic, and then only I fill in the details that occupies the whole conversation to lead towards this. Now, topics are very easy. It can be anything. Give me a topic.
Let's say budget 2025.
Budget 2025.
Is it too boring?
It's too broad.
Okay, too
Okay,
broad.
no, but it's okay. Budget
okay.
2025. But what do you want them to talk about? How does this affect you? Wouldn't that be interesting as a thing they talk about? Or the best tax returns or whatever. Know that outcome that you want to talk about. Okay, cool. So budget 2025. Now I want to lead towards tax returns, which I know is going to create the most amount of buzz of people talking. Now, what from budget 2020 do I start and then lay things out to get to here?
You reverse engineer.
Reverse engineer. I'm an engineer by profession, right? So yeah.
By the way, I'm also a mechanical engineer.
There you go. So you all my shows are designed that way. It's engineering behind it. So you design it, but it's not fixed in stone. So when I converse with people, like I said, it's like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. If I'm talking, like I bring up this, anybody wants to talk about 0.1, the floor talk, but then next thing you know, he brings up 0.4. I'm like, ooh, interesting. Then I continue with 0.4. Then I lead back to 0.2. And then I lead them towards the conclusion that I want. And then they feel like, wow, we discussed this together and got it. The truth is I led you there. So the idea is knowing this and the objective of what you want will help a lot.
Is that the first thing you teach your students
All the time.
clients all the time? The first thing?
What
else?
What is the purpose?
No, what's the purpose?
Because if you don't know the purpose, I just want to talk to him, then it's going to be awkward for the other person. Because after a while, think about it. If someone just comes up to you and just talks, then after a while, you're like, why are we talking?
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why
There's
you're
no direction.
talking. There's no direction. You're just talking. But if there is a direction, you lead to like networking.
Yeah.
I want to find networks for my business. People are very objective driven there. They know. If presentation, I want my boss to know my name, that I created this.
Yep.
That's my objective. So you just do those things. If you focus on that, it's easier for you to just present.
So whatever happens in between matters, but doesn't really matter at the same time.
Correct. But you have to design it, preempt it. There's no, like, when I say the ABCD, I'm thinking of questions people will ask and answers people will give. That leads my ABCD to get me there. So I already preemptive that you are going to talk about, okay, budget. Okay, budget, I want the word tax. Okay, budget is like, boring lah budget, I don't like budget. Okay, so that's one of the things they're going to take. Next one is like, budget, all this, they're only looking for rich people. Okay, what do poor people get? Just think of all the things that you will ask and then design it in a way to
Mm.
lead to the objective that you want.
What else? What else would you tell your students about?
Another thing besides talking to one is the kiss part.
Yeah.
Keep it short and simple. But
Case part.
kiss. Keep it short and simple.
Oh, kiss. Okay.
So
That's a
everything, keep it short and simple. People think long sentences and long stories are nope. The shorter the better. The shorter the better. Especially like, and then and please start paying attention to, if you write, your commas are important, your full stops are important, your exclamations are important, your question marks are important. That is your emotion. How you tell. Your pauses is your commas. Your full stops is your pauses. Your emphasis on words is your exclamation. So you have to understand all those things. So if you know how to type it out, it's the same thing as your presentation. It's the words have to, if you want people to pay attention to a certain thing, but like Donald Trump does it very differently, but he's no one to them. No, I'm like, okay.
don't blaze through the punctuation. Basically, like
Just-
put more emphasis and give it weightage.
Yeah. And another thing I train people is breath system. How you breathe, how much pause you give. So how much pause you give is 1+1. So give a pause for yourself and the person listening. So if my speed is like this, that's how long I pause. But if my speed is like this, that's how fast I pause.
Yeah.
Even though it's still one breath for you, one breath for me, because this is the speed I'm talking. But if my speed is like this is how long I pause, because that's still one breath for you and one breath for me. But if I'm going slower, this is still one breath for you, breath for me. But my speed is now like this. So that's how long you pause.
So it's the variation in tone, pitch, speed,
Everything.
and facial expressions, body language,
Correct.
impressions,
Everything.
intention, genuine connection. Wow.
No, but the first most important is being genuine. Please be genuine.
Be
when
yourself
you do.
first,
Be yourself. If you try to be someone else, you freak out every time you meet the person because you're right. Which persona did I present?
That makes sense.
First time I met the person, which persona did I present? Because if suddenly like, hey, you were different the last time, suddenly you panic. Oh,
And you know, sometimes when we talk to people, right, we tend to like lean towards things that we like versus what they like. How do you balance that? Like
we
knowing like you don't like over explain things on your end that people don't care about.
you.
Still the social cue and expressions. Is there a balance to
No,
it?
but it goes back to the objective of the conversation. So if the objective of the conversation, let's say budget, if both of us like the budget, then there's no such thing as you like, I like, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a person who doesn't like a budget, why the hell am I talking to you about a budget for? So it goes back to the objective and the person you're talking to.
They're trying to sell something basically.
But you have to know the person to sell something. If you want to sell anything to a person, you have to know the person first. You cannot sell anything to a stranger.
True.
You have to build a small time rapport, then you can sell. Like how many times you walk around the thing, sir, sign up credit card, you're like,
Yeah.
right? If the person goes out, hey, good day, nice shirt, you're like, thanks, then walk off. But out of 10 times, one person like, thanks. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, this one, oh, interesting.
I'm asking a question because this is more of a personal question, right? I don't know if it implies on the same end, but when it comes to content creation, there's always the struggle between creating content for people that people wants to see versus creating something that I truly respect and I truly like to show. And the results really like will lean towards obviously what people wants to see, right?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. Okay, I'll you see, we are dealing with social media now. Social media, you can do niche.
True.
So why are you worried? That means what you like, there's a group of people that think exactly like you.
Yeah.
So are you trying to say that you want to try to get the people who are not like you?
In a way, yeah, to grow my pool.
Okay. If you like me on my radio show, did you tell your friends, hey, do you hear JJ?
Word of mouth, yeah.
So why did you tell?
because I like the character, I like the
We
story,
have the connection.
The connection, yeah.
Right. You tell him to sample, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't sample, he's going to sample, right?
Yeah.
He's not my audience, right?
Yes.
Suddenly he's going to sample like, hey, not bad, I actually like. Then he like. So, but if I'm trying to talk to everybody, you won't even make that connection with me and you won't tell him.
That
So,
makes sense.
so build a base, a strong base of connections, and they will be your advocates. They will talk to others about you.
That's true.
And of course, content has to be key lah. Whatever you're presenting have to be factual, and people like to act smart.
True.
People love to act smart, especially if you can give them tidbits of information and then they go, so smart. You know, and then just throw it
I
out.
learned this from here.
Exactly. No, they won't even tell where they learned.
I know.
They're just like, I know.
I know what happened to budget yesterday.
Oh, this is another thing I train people. The funny part about the mistakes when I present, as an MC or when you're doing presentation is the only time people notice that you make a mistake is when you tell them you made a mistake. If you're presenting something and it's wrong, and you go, wait, everybody, I made a mistake.
Stress is out.
Made a mistake. But if you go, then you realize you made a mistake. Hold on a second. If we go back to this fact, then nobody knows you made a mistake.
What if you play it off like, oops?
Can so. So it depends. So I'm not saying you have to.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. I was in a musical called P. Ramlee the Musical. So the first opening night, the gala night, where everybody is there, the sponsors is there, I had a solo number singing. I forgot my words. Singing, which is die.
Yeah.
So Tony Yusof was playing P. Ramlee and I was playing this character called B.S. Rajans. So I remember I was singing and singing and singing the first part, and then my mind just went blank. And I'm like, I got no more words, right? So if I freaked out on stage, everybody would know me. What happened was I go, what do I remember? I say, I remember the next verse. Straight away in my mind. What do you remember? What do you do now? Before I started that song, there was a scene where I fumbled. I go, mama, sorry, nervous. So I just did mama with confidence. And I see Tony looking at me, still acting, but his pupils are dilated, like going, oh my God, you forgot the words. But I went to that pose when he hit that and just continued. So half the audience didn't know I make a mistake. The pros and actors are like, you forgot your line, right? They're like, yeah, oh my God. Nobody notice it. So the idea is people will notice your mistakes when you highlight you made a mistake.
And people tend to highlight that.
Yeah,
to
correct.
Make sure that they, in a way, acknowledge it.
For what?
Ah.
No need to acknowledge. If it's obvious, then like, sorry,
To act like nothing.
trainer taught.
Act like nothing happened.
Act like nothing happened. No, nothing wrong because nobody knows. Like, you don't know what I'm going to say next. So how are you? How do you know I made a mistake?
True.
As simple as that.
And that's very powerful. No, really, like people tend to overthink everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's why overthinking leads to complicating things, and
Correct.
then things just go down the drain from there. Okay, just want to wrap this up with just one last question, right?
Shoot.
JJ, it has been an honor. I've learned a lot, and hopefully the audience learned a lot. Just one thing: if you could change one thing in the past, what would that be?
Phew. If I could change one thing in the past, what would that be? I would have started my businesses earlier. All my other businesses earlier. Because it would have been cooler.
What do you mean by that?
No, because you see, I only started going down the business path after I left radio. And after I'd be a creative director now. And I'm like, if I did it earlier, I would have failed a few times. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have made it all the way, but I would have learned my mistakes earlier, not now.
When you have more energy and resources.
Correct. Now I'm like, oh my God, to fail is not that easy, man. It's like tiring.
So it still goes back to the cost per mistake is very high now.
Very high.
You can't risk failing and
Can't risk, but I still take it because I don't know how to sit still. So if I could change one thing, would be that. Anything else, I wouldn't.
Start
Even
your
my
business.
mistakes. Even all the mistakes I did in my past led me to who I am today. The only thing I wish I did was I started a business earlier. That's all.
And
I'm like,
who prompted you to start the business?
who prompted me?
Yeah, at first
My
off,
failure lah.
Your failures lah.
All the things that stopped. That's suddenly like, I started my laundry is because of MCO. It's like,
okay.
what open? Oh, restaurant. I don't know how to cook. Laundry. Okay, this one can. Need capital. Find capital. Blah, blah, blah.
It was only when circumstances arise you start thinking they have to be resourceful
Correct.
and setting out of the box.
Which I wish I did it earlier. I
Yeah.
wish I like
Understandable.
started like a laundry or something earlier. It would have been fun. Easy. But-
It's because of comfort zone that keeps you in.
Correct. So that's why I'm like, oh well, that's the only thing I would have changed. Other than that, nothing. Because your mistakes make who you are today. It forms a bone is stronger after you break it.
Wow.
You know that, right? So
That wraps it up. Thank you very much.
most welcome. Thank you for having me.